In Chinese tradition, a ghost marriage is a marriage in which one or both parties are deceased. It is also known as spirit marriage, Minghun, necrogamy, or posthumous marriage. The ghost marriage ensures the unmarried dead are not alone in the afterlife. The origins of Chinese ghost marriage are largely unknown, but reports of it being practiced today can still be found. The purpose of a ghost marriage is to find a partner for a deceased person. Some elderly Chinese still believe that if people die without fulfilling their wishes such as getting married, they will not rest peacefully and will return to haunt others. The practice was banned as far back as imperial times, but many people continue the practice in secrecy. When unmarried men or women died, their parents would hire a matchmaker, like a feng shui master, to help them marry suitable corpses, and bury them together. Originally, the weddings were strictly for the dead, a ritual conducted by the living, to wed two single deceased people. But in recent times, some have involved one living person being married to a corpse. The most important part is digging up the bones of the bride, and putting them inside the groom's grave. In a ghost marriage, many of the typical marriage rites are observed. However, since one or more parties is deceased, they are otherwise represented, most often by effigies made of paper, bamboo, or cloth. In Taiwan, if an unmarried woman passes away, her family may place red packets with cash, paper money, a lock of hair, or a fingernail, out in the open, and wait for a man to pick them up. The first man to pick up the packets is chosen as the groom, and it is believed to be bad luck if he refuses to marry the ghost bride. The wedding rituals are similar, but unlike in mainland China, no bones are dug up. The groom is often allowed to marry a living woman later, but his dead wife should be revered as the primary wife. Some regions of Japan, particularly the northern islands and Okinawa Prefecture, have a very long tradition of ghost marriage, probably because of centuries of Chinese influence. The main factor distinguishing Japanese ghost marriage from its Chinese counterpart, is the type of spouses married to ghosts. A deceased person is not married to another dead person, nor to a living one, but to a doll. The most common ghost marriage is between a ghost man and a bride doll, but posthumous weddings can go the other way, with a ghost bride marrying a groom doll. Modern law in South Korea allows posthumous marriage, in cases where one member of an engaged couple dies. Because according to the Unification Church beliefs, only married couple can enter the highest levels of heaven. Another reason for ghost marriages, is if the prospective bride is pregnant. In Kasaragod, India, children are often engaged to be married at a very young age. If the children pass away before they are old enough to marry, their families may hold a preta-kalyanam. After consulting an astrologer, the two families will hold a traditional Hindu wedding ceremony, with dolls in place of the bride and groom. The dolls are dressed in traditional wedding clothes, horoscopes are matched, and a wedding feast is served to guests. After the ceremony, the dolls are buried under a sacred tree, submerged in a lake or river, or burned in a ceremonial pyre. Posthumous, or postmortem marriage, is a legal form of marriage which originated in the 1950s. The story behind the addition begins with a disaster. On December 2, 1959, the Malpasset Dam, just north of the French Riviera, collapsed, unleashing a furious wall of water that killed 423 people. When then President Charles de Gaulle visited the devastated site, a bereaved woman, Irene Jodard, pleaded to be allowed to marry her dead fiancé. On December 31st, French Parliament passed the law permitting posthumous marriage. During the ceremony, the living spouse stands next to a picture of the deceased fiancé. Instead of the deceased's marriage vows, the mayor conducting the ceremony reads the presidential decree. The German government did not allow Jews and non-Jews to marry, under the 1935 Nazi Nuremberg Laws. Charlotte Coletta and Fritz Pfeffer lived together without marriage. In 1950, Charlotte married Fritz posthumously, with a retrospective wedding date of May 31, 1937. Within the newer ethnic group of southern Sudan, ghost marriage happens in a very particular way. If a man dies without male heirs, a kinsman frequently marries a wife to the dead man's name. The genitor, or the biological father, then behaves socially like the husband, but the ghost is considered the pater, or the legal father. The Dinka, and newer tribes of southern Sudan most commonly practice this form of ghost marriage. Women will also marry a deceased man, so they can retain their wealth and property instead of losing it to a living husband.